Yo, we'll see you 2 minutes. Your boy Ashton Jackson, and in today's video, man, I will be breaking news about Mike McCarthy being out as Cowboys head coach. So for some, it might not be a surprise. For some, it might be, but in which and way that the Dallas Cowboys are moving and reflecting and talking about Mike McCarthy, I thought they might have been a chance we bring him back, but we figured that, of course, if they didn't give him an extension last week, I felt like he wasn't going to come back, and it didn't make any sense to not really give him an extension after that second 49er loss. If we wanted to extend him, give him like a fake extension and then have him on the team for a little while. But so before I hop into the video, I appreciate if you guys like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content. As you guys can tell right here by the report, Tom Pelissero just broke news about maybe 10 or 15 minutes ago by the time I'm making this recording. And he has stated Mike McCarthy's out as the Cowboys head coach. Both sides couldn't agree on the length of contract, and Mike McCarthy will pursue other opportunities. He leaves Dallas with a winning record and 3 playoff appearances. So, for me, I didn't mind moving on from Mike McCarthy just because, for the simple fact that he wasn't a great play caller. He didn't have us prepared in situations in the playoffs. And, those were things that were some of his negatives. Play calling, you would run something really well against your division rivals or against opponents that didn't have winning records, but when it was time to meet other teams that had as much talent as you did, or if not better, whether in the regular season or the playoffs, you always strunk in those moments, and those were things that we didn't like with Mike McCarthy. Some things that I did like with Mike McCarthy is that any single time we had to play on a short week, we were prepared for those games. From that, when we have to play those 3 games in 11 days in November, we do a really pretty good job in playing in those games when we're healthy. He did a pretty good job, in low managing dudes, guys like Tyron Smith. We figured out a way, of course, the last minute of his career with the Dallas Cowboys. We figured out, hey, he gets hurt at the start. He never gets hurt playing the games. Or if he does get hurt playing the games, he's out for like maybe a player or 2, but he comes right back. So we figured out a way, hey, low manage, just get him ready to play on Sunday. So whether that's minimal practice, whatever the case might be, we did a really good job in doing that. We did a pretty decent job drafting. We drafted Michael Parsons, CeeDee Lamb. I know CeeDee Lamb was a surefire pick, but then us developing and, cultivating a guy like Trayvon Diggs and having him ready to play and getting an all-pro out of him, Michael Parsons all-pro, having Osa develop and be a solid defensive tackle for you. We finally figured out who Chauncey was. We knew that he was a defensive end coming out of Iowa, but Dan Quinn wanted him to be this defensive tackle. We get Mike Zimmer, and he reminds Dallas Cowboy fans that he's a really good defensive end and a really good solid player that he was coming out of Iowa. These last 2 drafts haven't been the best, but, it is what it is. You can put that to blame for, Will McClay and, the Joneses, of course, for the way in which that these drafts have turned out the past 2 years. So with all that being said, under Mike McCarthy's tenure, again, I will give him props. It was the best 3 years, the best 3 seasons of watching Dallas Cowboys football of my lifetime. I know a lot of people who watch this, they've seen the Super Bowls, whether it was in the 70s or the 90s or whatever the case might be. But from 2021 to 2023, it was some of the best years watching the Dallas Cowboys play football. But of course, we brought him in here to get us over the hump, and he couldn't do that. The next head coach that I possibly see being the Dallas Cowboys, I don't have a clue, because out of all the retreads that we could have hired, so former head coaches, I was like, if we're just gonna bring in a former head coach, why not just keep Mike McCarthy? But if the Dallas Cowboys are out on Mike McCarthy and they don't want him back, I think that they should go a different route. I'm tired of the retreads. Will the Jones go retread? I think they will. But if they want to get a first-time head coach in here, I won't be surprised if they try to hit up Kellen Moore after Philadelphia is done. Whenever they're done in the playoffs, I won't be surprised if we get an interview with him. I won't be surprised if we try to interview a guy like Jason Witten. just for at least an interview. I'm not saying he gets the job, but I'm just thinking as the Joneses right now. Ben Johnson hasn't had any steam. The only steam I've been hearing about is that about the Raiders job, but I've been hearing that's also being linked to Dion as well. But I don't think Dion is going to coach in the NFL because he said that multiple times. If Ben Johnson is Raider head coach, I'll be proud of the Raiders. But if you're the Dallas Cowboys, I don't know where you go, honestly, because if you're not going to give a guy like a Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I know they had a meltdown last night, but when they were healthy and they were playing pretty exciting football for the first, 2 months of NFL football from September to like October, they were playing really good football, and they looked like one of the best teams in the NFC. They even beat the Detroit Lions, who only have 2 losses on the record. So look at Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator over there in Tampa. I would love a Ben Johnson, but that's just me pipe dreaming. If the Dallas Cowboys do go retread, it's possibly going to be a guy like maybe John Gruden, maybe. I'm not ruling that out of the possibilities. Also, I think if we do go another familiar face, I think we might go Kellen Moore. Those are my 2 options right now. It's either John Gruden or Kellen Moore as your head coach for the next however many years, but who knows? This might be a whole circus, and if, he's been, he talking about Mike McCarthy has been linked to the Bears and to the New Orleans Saints. So if he doesn't get signed or picked up by either of those 2 franchises, I could potentially see Mike McCarthy coming back if that happens, and he finds out that his market, that if Chicago and New Orleans doesn't give him the things that he's looking for, I can definitely see, or the Jets, I can definitely see the Cowboys. If he doesn't get what he wants in those situations, I can see Mike McCarthy coming back and being Dallas Cowboys head coach. But we're going to find out. I'm just going to enjoy the ride in terms of this head coaching process. I don't like it, but we're going to find out what we're going to do with the head coach probably in the next month. We'll definitely know, but I won't be surprised in the next, maybe by Championship Sunday, we'll figure out who our new head coach is going to be. So that's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.